In this Gnostic framework, the Major Arcana becomes a narrative of the soul's entrapment, awakening, and return to the divine. The early cards reflect the fall into matter and the Demiurge's influence, the middle cards depict the struggle for gnosis, and the later cards celebrate liberation and reunion with the Pleroma. Let's refine the Gnostic interpretation of the Devil Tarot card, deepening its significance within Gnostic cosmology and sharpening its symbolism to reflect the complexities of entrapment, illusion, and the struggle for liberation. The Demiurge is the enslaver of the divine spark, embodying the seductive tyranny of the material world. Symbolism in Gnostic context. The devil figure. In Gnostic terms, the devil is a direct representation of the Demiurge, the blind, arrogant creator god who fashioned the material cosmos as a flawed imitation of the Pleroma, the divine fullness. Unlike the Christian Satan, this figure isn't a rebel but the architect of the prison, wielding power through ignorance, agnosia, rather than knowledge. The horns and bat-like wings evoke the Demiurge's distortion of divine forms, a grotesque parody of the Eon's perfection. The chains, the two human figures chained at the devil's feet symbolize humanity's entrapment by the archons, the Demiurge's cosmic enforcers. These chains are forged from materialism, desire, and fear, tools the archons use to bind the divine spark within each soul. Notably, the chains are loose, reflecting a key Gnostic insight: the bondage is illusory, sustained only by ignorance, and can be cast off through gnosis. The inverted pentagram, the pentagram above the devil's head, often inverted in tarot imagery, signifies the perversion of divine order. In Gnostic cosmology, the Demiurge inverts the true harmony of the Pleroma, trapping the fivefold divine essence, spirit, within the five elements of matter. It's a mark of his false sovereignty. The throne and darkness, the devil's throne, set against a black backdrop, represents the oppressive stability of the material realm, a kingdom of shadows masquerading as reality. This aligns with Gnostic texts describing the world as a corpse or darkness ruled by the chief archon, e.g., hypostasis of the archons. Narrative within Gnostic journey. The devil precedes the tower in the Major Arcana, setting the stage for the soul's deepest entanglement before its explosive liberation. It's the nadir of the Gnostic journey, where the divine spark is fully submerged in the Demiurge's illusions, seduced by pleasures, power, and the false promise of security. The card follows temperance, the attempt to balance spirit and matter, showing how this balance can tip into servitude if the seeker fails to see through the archon's lies. Liberation begins only when the soul recognizes the devil's chains as self-imposed, a realization that triggers the tower's collapse. Psychological and spiritual layers. Psychologically, the devil embodies the lower self, the ego enthralled by the archon's temptations, lust, greed, pride. It's the mind that mistakes the material for the eternal, a state Gnostics call hylic, matterbound, consciousness, as opposed to pneumatic, spirit awakened. Spiritually, this card is the Demiurge's triumph over the soul, yet it carries a paradox: the very excess of his control exposes its fragility. The Gnostic seeker must confront this shadow to reclaim their divine heritage. Connection to Gnostic texts. In the Apocryphon of John, the Demiurge, Yaldabaoth, declares, "I am God, and there is no other," a boast echoed in the devil's commanding presence. His archons, described as rulers of fate and flesh, mirror the card's imagery of domination. The chained figures recall humanity's subjugation after Sophia's fall, when the divine spark was encased in bodies by the authorities of darkness, Pistis Sophia. Yet, texts like the Gospel of Philip emphasize that the world came about through a mistake, the devil's power is a lie, sustained only by humanity's failure to awaken. I hope you enjoyed the Gnostic interpretation of the Devil Major Arcana. To find out more, follow me on my YouTube channel, or on social media on X at Ian Broadmore, or on my website ianbroadmore.com.